I'm Ronit. I head the finance and automation function at and business consulting, also known as Hexalync. In this demo, I'm going to be talking about how we implemented automation in one of our key finance functions, which is FP&A processes for a lot of our external clients, right? The idea is we have a rolling forecast or a budget model in which we also track variances, what happened uh, in actuality versus what was budgeted. So this variance report is of utmost importance for CFOs or executives. And this is what we do. Now to do that, we have to bring in the accounting data from previous month into the model, right? To do that, manual copy pasting is required at an analyst level. And that was how things used to happen previously. That would take around 2 days of time to serve each client or to do the MEC for each client. Uh, with this automation implementation, it has come down to about half an hour, right? So, which is what I'm going to showcase today. This is the before view of the accounting data, how it flows and how it looks, and you can understand the level of noise already present in this data, and it is not at all templated well, right? And now let us jump to the final model. So this is the model which has December 2025 data, and the data for January 2026 has also come to us. So I'll be walking you through a quick walkthrough or a demo of how we are actualizing this using automation, right? Now, typically, if a person had to, update marketing, sales and marketing actuals and delete the budget or move the model forward, as we call it, they would have to come to this sheet and go all the way down and use some ifs or XLOOKUP formula and then pull some numbers and map it to sales and marketing based on your GL codes here. And that's how they would typically do it for all the departments or all the functions. But that is not how we are doing it currently. The real benefit with this approach is number one, obviously a huge time savings, but number two, improvement in accuracy as well, because we are defining the controls, we are setting up the processes in the backend for the code to actually do it by itself. Now, starting with the demo, I'll quickly show you how we actually move the model forward, right? Currently, I have data till December 2025. Now, in the next step, I'll update this to January 2026, right? Which means I have moved the model 1 month ahead. And here you can see, since I do not currently have January data in my raw data dump, as you can see if I scroll to the right here, it didn't pick up the January data, and hence it is blank. When I'm trying to move the model forward, the data is only till December 2025. Here you can see these are blank. Right. So what needs to be done? First of all, I close this file. I go back to my folder structure where I am placing my actual data. I remove the outdated file from here. And here you can see I have the January file ready. So I'll just place it under the actuals folder. Once this is done, hardly took us 20 seconds. I go to data in the model and I hit refresh all. Bottom left, you can see the query is running in the background. And yeah, 5 seconds later, you can see once we have put the updated accounting data dump in the right location, and we just had to go to data and refresh. And this has been populated by itself, right? And if I drag it here, we can see that at manual level, whether our net income is matching directly to the accounting data dump for January 2026 or not. So the checks are balancing as well. The model is okay. Now I'll quickly move on to discuss the dashboards. So after all of this happens, the next level is for an analyst to figure out the variances and explain them. So here in variance dashboard, we track different variances across functions, departments, and top line and bottom line, right? So now I have a dashboard which tells me, okay, sales and marketing, we did well. We were under the budget, but what was the reasoning or underlying reason behind this, right? And same for KPI dashboard, where we are capturing changes in the KPIs across a period, like 3 months period or a 1 month period. This is here is a difference or is a month on month comparison between December and January. So in the next step, apart from these high level dashboards and useful information, how do we automate the next level of this process? So if you go back to our actuals file here, we see here there is a management monthly accounts for January 2026. Let me open this. Now here you can clearly see that these tables are directly coming from our model. We didn't need to update them manually. Everything is automatically linked. But the best part here is how AI actually builds a layer on top and helps us understanding and explain the variances. And on top of that, tries to suggest next steps for us, right? So all we have to do is we have to open the Claude plugin here and go back to our model, open the Claude plugin here. Once these are ready, all I have to do here is I already have a skill, pre-built skill here, and I have to tell it to do a variance slide for January 2026, right? And I confirm here that the Claude window is open, and that's it. So in the background, it will take help from the other file which is open, and it will prompt it or query it based on whatever data or incoming connections it has. And it will try to figure out the variance for us, and it will create a variance slide for us explaining what are the key reasons for the variances underlying under each of these departments and functions, and also what could be the next steps for us. Now you can see in next step that the variance slide has been populated, and here you can see that it goes into the depth of what is the reason behind the variances, and it explains the reasoning with the GL codes and the accounts, and it also gives us next steps for what needs to be done. Like for instance, if you talk about sales and marketing variance, confirm why the timeline or the budget was missed, and it could impact our future revenues, and it needs to be deployed or reallocated to some other quarter, right? Like those kind of insights, very high level actionable insights for an executive can be produced with just a single click and refresh, and using skills on top of the automation we've built from AI as well.